Good day. Welcome to my presentation on project management tools for Scrum and Waterfall, summer 2019 for CS5083. Project management lifecycle. There are 5 key elements in the project management lifecycle. Those include the conception and initiation phase. Next is the definition and planning phase. Next is launching or execution. Next will be performance and control, and of course, the project close. Here's just a quick review of some of the project management soft skills that are required to be an effective project management manager. Those include leadership, team building, motivation, influencing, negotiation, and one that I feel is probably one of the very top most important ones is the communication soft skill. So one question that I would like to ask is, how can we be a successful project manager without having the right tools to complement our soft skills? So I'm going to take a few minutes to go over the agile versus waterfall approaches and the different tools that I was able to use to understand the difference and how I could use these tools in my day-to-day as a project manager. Here is an image that I was able to capture from a project manager site that I was browsing, and it gave us the top 10 project management responsibilities. I always think it's important to keep these items in mind. Most of these items will correlate to some kind of tool that is required in order to be successful. So I just wanted to include it in my presentation here. These are things that are crucial to being successful. Some important highlighted items I'd like to show are daily project status. Meetings are constant as a project manager. Calls and emails. Emails are always coming in and out. Being able to budget the time that you associate to all these different tasks is something that needs to grow over time. It's not just something you have and know how to do all of the time. It's something that you kind of learn as you continue to develop your skills as a project manager. These are some of the important elements of project management that I wanted to highlight. Step 1 being writing down your tasks, establishing an order of them, creating some milestones, calculating the time scale, allocating people to the tasks, and reviewing these elements regularly. Balancing schedule and workload is an ongoing struggle as a project manager. On the workload side, you need to be able to review your team's current workload, identify over-allocated staff, identify under-allocated staff, account for skills and absences, and adjust the assignments as needed to ensure that the project is to be successful. So here are some tools that can assist us in our day-to-day project management process. Some of these are things like Office 365 Planner, being able to help you with shared tasks and activities. Then we have Slack. Slack is a great place to collaborate with other developers or project managers, good for inter-team collaboration as well as communicating between the members of your own individual team. So it can be used to collaborate across the organization. It can also be used to communicate within your team directly. It also highlights some agile tools, which we'll get into later, and some PPM tools as well, to be able to assign resources and allocate project management tasks. These are some of the important items that are needed when you're thinking about which task management tools to use. Tools that assist with prioritization, collaboration, status, a calendar for scheduling, and estimating. Tools that have those top 5 items will help you be successful with managing your tasks. So now jumping into the different methodologies, here's just a quick review of the waterfall methodology. And what's interesting about the waterfall methodology is it's generally over a long period of time. There's sections of time dedicated to these 6 areas where the it's almost like it kind of looks like a waterfall actually, but these are crucial elements to the success of a project. These elements are used differently in a different methodology, which we call agile methodology, but a lot of these elements are key, and they're required to be successful in a project. Requirement specification, this is the actual gathering of the requirements from the product owner. Then there's the system design area where you would discuss with the designers and the developers on how to approach the project, especially for new applications. Design implementation is actually implementing what was discussed. And then there's verification and testing. So this is when you might have a quality assurance engineer assisting with testing, and you may reach out for some user testing in this phase. Then there's the system deployment, which is actually placing it into production. And then there's the software maintenance phase, which is regularly updating and verifying that the system that we've put into place is still working as designed, as other applications might be released into production. Here's a quick overview of Agile methodology. This involves some input from end users and customers, basically the big stakeholders that are involved in the project. Mainly the product owner is what we call them. They will give a list of features that they're looking for, which we will then we will then track using the product backlog. The team that is involved then will perform some estimation in their sprint planning meeting, which usually includes some feedback from the product owner. Then we will assign some items to the sprint backlog, and a sprint is generally a 1 to 4 week duration of time where we commit to completion of these smaller pieces of requirements. Meaning, in the prior slide we went over the waterfall methodology, and in that case it's generally a much larger project with a lot of time and requirements, documents, and things like that that will assist with getting it over the finish line. In this case, we have small iterations where we're able to mark smaller pieces as done over a period of time. And then at the end of the sprint, daily there's a meeting that happens roughly about 15 minutes for the team, where we discuss what we did yesterday, what we did today, and any impediments that are in the way, and then the Scrum Master would attempt to assist in removing those impediments. There's a sprint review where we discuss all of the items that were marked as done, and anything that was not yet accomplished could be moved into the next sprint if needed, or if we have any shippable items at this point, those would then be deployed to production. Then of course we have our retrospective, which is generally something I've seen fall away or not be thought of as the most important, but it is extremely important to reflect on the project and move forward with making some changes to better the projects that are in the future. Here's just a slide that kind of compares the two methodologies, where agile development is circular, it's continuous. The waterfall methodology is a sequential, linear process where once one piece is complete, we then move to another phase. Agile development is basically everything is happening all at once over time. Some people are working on some little things that help get another piece complete, and it's very team oriented, very flexible. Here's just a screenshot of the two boards that I created. On the left, we have I used Trello, and then on the right, I used the project manager site and signed up for the student trial. In my time here in this program, I'm in the Align program. A group of teammates and I in a prior class, we put together a project called Insules, and what this is, I have a 9-year-old daughter and she actually has type 1 diabetes. And what I noticed when we were leaving the hospital a long time ago was that there wasn't an application that was recommended to me where I could go in and enter her blood sugar information and calculate the kind of insulin that she needs to be getting for her meals. So I kind of wanted to take this time while I was learning how to write code and create applications and all that. I was thinking that this might be my opportunity to create something like that, and maybe it can make it someday in the future. So on the left side here, this was actually my way of working with my team to implement these tasks for a prior class. And on the right, in the project manager site, I was able to create another version of my sprint backlog on the left in this project manager site, and be able to kind of compare the differences in how the information is displayed. On the left, it's more of an agile tool, whereas on the right, this appears more like a Gantt chart where you're able to kind of see the timeline and who is assigned to what item at that time. So I did actually like both very much. So I will go into a demo shortly. Oops. So in signing up for this trial, I was reading through some of the items that were displayed on the site here. And one thing that I enjoyed reading here is that it says, waterfall methodology is a linear project management approach where stakeholder and customer requirements are gathered at the beginning of the project, and then a sequential project plan is created to accommodate those requirements. I did enjoy just kind of reading that all in a nutshell. As a very nice way of clearly defining what waterfall means. So this is kind of what urged me to choose this project management tool for my waterfall tool. This is just a screenshot of some of the different charts that you're able to create using the project manager tool. And here on the right is just a larger version of what I alluded to earlier, which I'll go into a demo momentarily. I was also able to generate these project status reports, which I found to be very interesting. I currently work at a company where we do use Microsoft Team Foundation Server for our code, and then we also use TFS for our Scrum boards and managing all of our tasks as well. So I was kind of interested in having these reports. It's not really something I'm able to find in my other tool that I'm using at work all the time. So here's the pricing. It does appear that this project manager tool is a cloud-based application. So here are the prices here, if you're interested. And then I just wanted to go into some more detailed tools that can be used for waterfall methodology, like a project timeline. And there's some information here about the project timeline and how that can be beneficial for a waterfall project. Generally, there's always a scope of work document for a project that uses waterfall, which highlights, introduction, background, purpose, scope, and so on and so forth. Here's some more scope of work document items. One of the more interesting things that I learned about in this class was about the risk tracking. In my current role as a project manager, we don't normally track risk this way, and I found it to be very interesting and beneficial. So I wanted to point that out. And here are just a few tips for risk tracking. Here we'll jump into Agile methodology, and this is the project management tool that I used, Trello. The difference here you can see is it's grouped by status. So we have a to-do section, we have an in-progress section, and then a done section. This is my favorite section. I'm sure it is for any project manager. So when writing an when writing a product backlog item, usually you want to just create these requirements in small, easy to understand paragraphs. There are a couple of things that I've learned over time, like using the given, when, then method, and for acceptance criteria, and using the as a user of I want to. That's a very clear way to explain to a developer or a team of developers what the goal is of this feature that they're requesting from the business side. What I also liked is the ability to add some comments here. So in this case, my friend Thomas at the time was letting me know that this was they were having a little bit of trouble, and maybe they thought it wasn't going to take so much time, but it ended up taking a little bit longer. Here is the pricing for Trello, if you're interested. And then I just wanted to keep this communication slide here. I found it very important to state that good communication is the backbone of any project. And that rings well with me in my day-to-day as a project manager at work, because constantly you're communicating all day, every day, and these tools are so helpful. So we should be using them if we have the ability to help us communicate better with our team, especially if some of our team is not co-located with us. And here are just some communication objectives. This is more of just a review item. And that is my slide deck. So what I'd like to do real quick is just do a quick demo of the two tools that I was able to use. Okay, and let's see. We'll start with the project manager here. Let's see. So here's that dashboard that I alluded to earlier, where you can see all these beautiful reports that let you know what's not yet started, what's completed, and what's in progress. It's very data-driven. I really enjoyed looking at these charts. This is what a sample project looks like, but let me show you mine. So here is my Insulates project using this waterfall tool. I really do like seeing the dates and being able to see where today falls and what's been done on the left and what is in progress, what's yet to be done in the future. I do really like the way this is displayed. I can see how this would be useful in an agile environment as well. In order to create a new item, all you need to do is just click here and start typing. And then it just fills it right in for you. You can change the date of the start date here. You can change the end date. And then you can assign the task. We'll assign that to me. I'm going to test for a long time. So this is just a quick overview of how this tool works. There are many other features that I was able to check out, but in the interest of time, I'll just skip over to Trello. Here we are in the Trello application, which is also cloud-based. So in here we can take a look at something that is in the to-do section. This was assigned to my friend Joan at the time. So what she can do is add comments here if she has any questions or anything like that. You're able to attach items, like if we had a screenshot of something, you can attach a screenshot here. You can assign a due date for this item. You can add a checklist. Let's see what else. And then what's really fun is being able to take the item and drop it into the next section, which is in progress. And then once you are complete, you're able to take it and drop it in here in the done section. What I also found pretty neat about this application versus the Microsoft product that I'm using at work is that you're able to actually create new versions of a list. So if I wanted to create, backend to do, and then I wanted to put that over here, and then I wanted this to say front end, you can go ahead and do that. And these two sections can be in the to-do section, and then you'll have a little more flexibility. I really like the way that this is displayed and used. So that is my demo of the 2 project management tools that I was able to test out and enjoy. And let's see, where did I go? Present. There we go. So that is the end of my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great summer. Thank you. Bye-bye.